A Damascus steel blade could reportedly split a silk scarf floating in midair and cut clean through a European sword without chipping. Crusader-era knights genuinely feared it. Its surface rippled with strange, wave-like bands of light and dark steel, folded together like something out of a legend rather than a forge. For centuries, no European smith could replicate it, and in 2006, scientists using an electron microscope found out why, and the answer involved nanotechnology over 1,000 years before the word existed. This is the story of WOOTZ steel, the raw material behind the legendary Damascus blade, and a metallurgical secret that took modern science centuries to even begin to explain. The story does not actually start in Damascus. It starts in South India, likely in the region around what is now Hyderabad, where smiths were producing a distinctive high-carbon steel as early as the 6th century BC. This steel, later called WOOTZ, was made by sealing iron, along with carbon-rich plant matter and glass, inside a sealed clay crucible, then heating it to extreme temperatures in a specialized furnace. The result, once cooled, was a small ingot of steel with an unusually high and evenly distributed carbon content, far higher than European smiths of the same era were able to reliably achieve. These WOOTZ ingots became a major export good, traded west along ancient trade routes into the Middle East, where smiths in cities like Damascus forged them into the blades that would eventually carry the city's name. It is worth being precise about the naming here. WOOTZ is the raw steel from India. Damascus steel refers to the finished blades forged from it, primarily in the Middle East. The fame and the name stuck to the finished sword. By the medieval period, genuine Damascus blades had a reputation across 3 continents. They held an edge longer, resisted shattering better, and displayed that unmistakable rippling surface pattern that no other steel of the era could match. European smiths tried repeatedly to copy the process. They could sometimes fake the visual pattern through pattern welding, hammer folding different steels together. But they could not replicate the true performance, and could not explain why their copies fell short. Then, sometime around the 18th century, production of true WOOTZ steel simply stopped. The specific ore sources, smelting techniques, and generations of accumulated craft knowledge in South India and the Middle East faded out. Historians point to a mix of causes: colonial economic disruption of local Indian iron and steel industries, shifting trade routes, and the rise of industrial European steelmaking that made mass production, if not equal quality, far cheaper. For roughly 2 centuries, genuine WOOTZ Damascus steel became a lost art. Museum blades survived. The specific knowledge of how to reliably make new ones did not. That is where the story could have simply ended, another impressive but unexplained ancient craft. Then, in the mid-2000s, a German research team, led by Peter Poffler, examined an original historic WOOTZ blade under an electron microscope. What they found startled the metallurgy world. Embedded in the steel structure were carbon nanotubes, one of the most advanced materials in modern nanotechnology, and cementite nanowires, both occurring naturally within the blade. Carbon nanotubes were not even identified and named by modern science until 1991. Here they were, apparently forming naturally in a blade made hundreds of years earlier, without anyone involved knowing what a nanotube was. The leading theory is that trace impurities in the original ore, including elements like vanadium, along with the specific repeated heating and forging cycle used by Damascus smiths, encouraged these nanoscale structures to form naturally during production. Those structures are what likely gave the steel its exceptional strength, flexibility, and its ability to hold a genuinely sharp edge without becoming brittle, properties that are notoriously difficult to balance in any steel, ancient or modern. It is critical to be precise about what this discovery does and does not prove. It does not mean ancient smiths understood nanotechnology or were deliberately engineering carbon nanotubes on purpose. What it means is that centuries of empirical trial and error, generations of smiths passing down which ore, which technique, and which precise heating rhythm worked best, accidentally produced nanoscale material science, purely through observation and repetition. They were not measuring atoms. They were watching which blades broke and which blades held, and refining their process based on results they could see and feel, but could not have explained at the atomic level. This is genuinely still an active area of research, and there is real ongoing scientific debate over exactly which combination of ore chemistry and forging process most reliably produces the nanotube structures Ploeffler's team documented. Some modern metallurgists and blacksmiths have attempted to recreate historically accurate WOOTZ steel using reconstructed ancient methods, with mixed but genuinely promising results. No one has fully nailed down the precise original recipe, because the original ore deposits used by historic Indian producers have themselves changed or been depleted over the centuries. So the open question at the heart of WOOTZ steel is not really about the past. It is about whether we can rebuild, from scratch, a nanoscale material science that a lost tradition of craftsmen achieved without ever knowing that is what they were doing. Somewhere between an Indian furnace 2,500 years ago and a modern electron microscope, a genuinely advanced material got made, lost, and only partially rediscovered. What other ancient crafts do you think might be hiding real science we simply have not looked closely enough to find yet? Tell us in the comments. Subscribe, because next episode takes us to the harbor of ancient Alexandria, where engineers built a lighthouse so advanced that ancient writers claimed it could reportedly detect enemy ships from far out at sea, and we are separating the engineering from the legend.